you believe in may be different from mine, and what I believe in may be different, I don't mind. Believe what you think and I believe in mine, and in the end we all living life. What you believe in, I don't mind. Our views and their views may not be the same. Mutual love and respect brings peace. I don't mind. They believe.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Believe on KAFTAN Television. I am Angela Daku, and this is a platform where your beliefs are highly respected, and we deliberate on different beliefs here as well. Well, today's topic is cosmetic and plastic surgery. Cosmetic or plastic surgery, as defined as surgery performed to improve the appearance of parts of the body or to repair body parts. This may be done by choice or because it is necessary. Plastic surgery that is considered necessary is that which is done when there is a need for it, when something does not look right, when something is missing, if there is too much or too little of something, or because something has been destroyed or reformed. At the same time, it is also regarded as cosmetic surgery because it results in an improved appearance. My question to you viewers is, do you believe that God is against cosmetic surgery, or can cosmetic surgery be justified? We will be discussing this and many more after the break. Please stay tuned.
Mutual love and respect brings peace.
Welcome back. Now, cosmetic surgeries tend to be justified under various titles. The most commonly performed cosmetic procedures include breast augmentation, liposuction, the removal of body fat, fat injections, leg vein treatments, nose and face reshaping, facelifts, eyelid lifts, Botox, and other body lifts. Approximately 2 million people subject themselves to these kinds of procedures each year, shelling out money and sacrificing time and comfort. When vanity motivates a person to undergo surgery, he or she has become his or her own idol. Some people believe cosmetic surgery is a gray area as far as religion is concerned, since tummy tucks, facelifts, and breast enlargements weren't available when the Hebrew scriptures, Quran, and other holy texts were composed. The rule in Islam is that individuals should be satisfied with the way Allah has created them. Islam welcomes, however, the practice of plastic surgery as long as it is done for the benefit of patients. The Bible does not specifically address a Christian having plastic surgery or cosmetic surgery. There is nothing in the Bible to indicate that plastic surgery is in and of itself wrong. However, there are several things that one needs to consider before deciding whether or not to undergo these procedures. Altering one's body is unnatural, and there are always risks of potential side effects, both physical and psychological. Well, as usual, here in the studio we have guests with us, a representative of the Islamic religion and also the Christian religion. We have Pastor Akinsade Ayodeji with me and Shaykh Muhammad Hamzat. Welcome to the studio.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for joining me on the program.
You're welcome.
Well, firstly, I'll start with you, Pastor, before I come to you, Shaykh.
No problem.
Firstly, I would like you to give us your own idea, or from your perspective, what do you, or how would you define cosmetic surgery?
Thank you, ma. When we are talking about cosmetic surgery, it's just improving appearance of oneself. For example, now, this will take me back to about 5 years ago when my mother celebrated 80 years birthday. When they change her face, it looked like a baby. So that's cosmetic for you. they decorated the whole face, and it looked like just somebody who is at age of 40 or 45. So when we are talking about cosmetry, it's just to improve the body appearance, to make it attractive to the public, let me put it that way, or to people around, so that they can say, okay, this one is beautiful, to go back as far as we know what we call a youthful age. So, and we know that when we are talking about youth now, somebody who is at 80 will be proving that I'm still very young by improving their body through these cosmetics. That's just my little perspective idea.
Okay, Shaykh, now to you, I would like you to give us your own perspective of what cosmetic surgery is all about.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. As the name implies, cosmetics, they will now attach surgery with it. I think my brother has he has talked about the facial aspect of the something, like using pancake and things like that. But I think he has not said much about the word surgery. Aha. So before we talk about that, I can take us back, I mean, to some centuries, how surgery came about. Surgery had been in practice for some years, even when the church was going against anything like surgery. Like in the 10th, 11th century, in Baghdad, currently known as Syria. So the Muslims then, you know, they saw the reason to dissect a mouse, or let me say mice. When I say mice, what I mean mice, that's plural of a mouse. So they cut it, let me use that word because I'm not a doctor. So if I don't want to go too technical. So they cut the head, they cut something from the abdomen and stitched it back there and treated it. And after some times, they observed to see whether the something will still come back to life. And it did. So I think that is where cosmetic, I mean, that is where surgery started. And that is dated back to about 10th or 11th century. So when we're talking about surgery, if there is the need for it, if there's that need for it, I don't want to say much about cosmetic, although cosmetic surgery has to do with, sometimes it may have to do with operation sometimes, which probably, if the question comes like that, I may have one or two things to say about it. But to talk about surgery, surgery had been in practice for a number of years back. So that means there must be a reason before that surgery can be resorted to, or can be advised to be taken by whoever needs it. But you know, we met issue of you know, rearranging one's I don't know how best to, but I don't want to offend you, you the females. So I think it is natural, particularly with men, I mean with women. To do that kind of hairdo, to use certain chemicals to change the face and things like that, so as to look you know, to look beautiful and youthful. So to an extent, it is allowed in Islam to an extent. So when question comes, we continue to come out with.
All right, but let me start also with you. But from what angle do you think a person would just wake up and decide to go for a cosmetic surgery?
Well, in Islam, when we say cosmetic surgery, I don't know on this platform, I don't know whether we are allowed to mention names as examples. Aha. So if somebody decides to go for that kind of thing you said, and we see that there's no reason for it. For instance, somebody who feels he has a kind of nose that is known with the Africans, and he wants to change it to that of American, though that is the way he looks at it. But in Islam, we will say there's no need for such a thing, because it is normal and commonsensical to appear natural. So if you don't sustain any injury, probably from an accident or anything, I don't think there's need for such a thing. If you are natural, you enjoy the nature till you breathe last. Unlike somebody who feels, well, I want to be like a man, like a white man, So for that reason, please, this my nose. I want you to change it for me. So we can put something there. So that is not acceptable in Islam. It's not acceptable. I'm not condemning whoever does it, but we have to say, you know, the stand of our own faith on that kind of thing. It is not acceptable in Islam. But if something happens and that person has been deformed, that person has been reshaped, you understand, and that thing uglifies him, and the doctor says, okay, for a very good reason, we can do some amends, or we can do certain things to put you back, you know, in a better shape. I think one may go for it. Because look at, if somebody has an accident and something cuts off one's nose, already one has been uglified. And if you look at it very well, all the parts in the nose, I'm only using that nose as an example. There are a lot of things. If question comes under that, one may say whatever is the need for there. But if you look at this nose, you see that there are certain things there in the nose. Probably something that is sieving the air that is going in. Your nose present in your face makes you beautiful or handsome. Then God knows why he has put certain things there. Probably that is protecting some virus or vira from outside. So if something is taken by accident, then the doctors now tell you the implication of something being taken away by this accident. So they now say, okay, let us do certain things to make sure that we artificialize, you know, certain things there to make you look beautiful, and to let, I mean, what has been taken away from you, let it be returned at least to 50% for your own comfort. So if that kind of thing is if that is the situation, I think it might be welcome. I actually have a question to ask, but let me come back to Pastor first. No problem.
Pastor, I'd like you to tell us. Now I'm going to ask you the question of the day, which is if cosmetic surgery is actually a sin before God, and if it's acceptable as well in Christianity.
Actually, in the beginning, according to the Genesis in the Bible, God is the first surgeon. When God wanted to create Eve from Adam, he had to make sure that Eve sleep. He slept, he performed a surgical operation. He take the ribs of the Adam and form Eve. So we can say God is the first surgeon. So when we are talking about surgery, it is allowed. God is the number one surgeon. But to some certain extent, because what God have created, they are beautiful. He created us perfectly and beautiful. But later, why it is very, very important is that when Isaac was born, it was the 8 days God commanded that it should be circumcised. Circumcision, that is by taking the foreskin. So when we are talking about surgery, is biblical, but to some certain extent. But when you move up again and you go to the Deuteronomy chapter 23, verse 1 and 2, it is clearly condemned that we should not allow any cuts in our body, because whatever God have created, he created them perfectly. So to some extent, where it's become abnormal, for example, what God have created, like my brother have earlier said the other time, that it's not somehow what God have created is perfect. But at the same time, when you begin to say, okay, I want to change what God have created, it becomes a sin. It becomes a sin. That's where it is condemned. That's why it started from the origin, that God is number one surgeon, that what he have created is perfect. But when it's going extra, when it's going abnormal, to the extent that you want to destroy your body, you like we have said, we want to make your baby to be like a baby of white people, it becomes a sin, and God does not support that.
Well, before we go on, I'm really enjoying this discourse. Let us go for a short break, and when we get back, we'll dive more into the discourse. Stay tuned.
Mutual love and respect brings peace.
Welcome back, and if you're just joining, this is still The Belief on KAFTAN Television. And before the short break, we were discussing about a cosmetic surgery and whether it is sin before God or not. And we have representatives in the house who are talking about this currently. And Shaykh, before the break, I told you I had a question in mind. And the question I had in mind was if there is actually a scripture backing these claims you have.
Yes, thank you very much. In the first instance, the Holy Prophet said, "Innamal a'malu binniyati." It says, actions are judged, by the intention. Whatever you do, you must have a reason for doing it. So if the reason is spiritually tenable, then you are on the right side. But if the reason you have is not tenable religiously, then you're on your own. I don't know whether you get what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
So if you have a good reason for what you want to do, no, there's no problem. Islam does not go against trying to bring comfort to yourself, if that is the ultimate. For instance, it is allowed in Islam that if a woman is pregnant, and at the point of delivery, they discover that there's a rupture or there's a kind of problem right in the system there, right inside there. Yeah. And they now see that, well, they have to talk to the husband of the woman. Now, well, I don't know the way you look at it, but to save this woman, the content, that is the fetus therein, we have to be negotiated. I don't know whether you get what I'm trying to say. So if that is in that case, so as to save that woman that we have seen, I mean the mother, then, and you find out that that woman cannot deliver safely, then they may say, okay, let us do away with this. And that is why I've said, that is a stand in Islam, that whatever you want to do, you must have a good reason for it. So if you want to go into surgery, there must be a good reason for it. Although I know there may be question, as we progress. Let's take, for instance, somebody want to go for bone enlargement.
Okay.
For what purpose? The ones you have, is it not producing fruit? I mean, the water's there for your child. Is it not there? Okay, your husband, before he marries you, or before he married you, didn't he know that this is the kind of this is the size you have? Why are you now going for that now? Are you with me, ma? Why are you going for that now? Why don't you allow it to be natural as God has done it? Okay,
but in a situation where it happens to be that is the wife's husband that's asking for such, what do you say about that?
You see, the determinant of whatever a person does is going to be in accordance with his level of faith in God. If I don't see any reason why I have to tell my wife to go for that kind of thing, for enlightenment for what purpose? Whatever God does or has done, like he said, is perfect. So looking for alternative, you can't get a better alternative except the need be for that. And you too, for instance, let's say somebody sustains an accident and he has an injury. And in the process, one of the legs has been cut off. So they now say, okay, for him to be able to walk conveniently, let us do a kind of patch up and put some, I don't know whether wood or anything. Let's put it so that he will not be having problem to move. Then they do that. If that is done, it's a kind of surgery. It's a kind of surgery. They treat something, they take out certain things, they dress it, then they pack that in there using some technological something to make sure that something is back in place. It's artificial, but that is allowed. It's allowed. So the Almighty Allah said, the Holy Prophet Islam said, La dorara la dirara. Don't put yourself into inconvenience. And don't allow people to put you into inconvenience. So trying to say you want to enlarge you want to reshape your nose, you want to enlarge your breasts, let's use that general language everybody understands. Or you want your buttock to be expanded or to be in a form, you are telling God that God is not perfect. And he doesn't know how to do his things. That what you are telling the world now is better than what God has done. That's what that person, so it's sinful and it's punishable. It's punishable. So that is it. On that enlargement of a thing or trying to give an alternative to what God has done. It's not done. You don't do that. What can you do to your height? Can you do anything to your height? If you say you are tall, do you ask them to cut off some part of your leg to have a normal height? Or when you're a dwarf, you are shorter than the minimum height. I mean, what do you do to boost that? Nothing. Nothing. You cannot do it. So if you now say you want to do it, and technology now grows to that extent that people now do something even after birth to make sure that your height is increased, well, you're only telling God that God has not done the best thing, which is sinful and punishable.
Well, Pastor, what would you say about the people involved in these practices? That's the people that actually, carry out this surgery, that the doctors involved. How would you term them? Are they also prone to these sins, or it is just restricted to the people who come for it?
Actually, people that do it is their job. People come for them and they patronize them. But what is actually my own thing, because according to what we are saying, it's a choice. But it's also depends on the level of faith and the belief. Somebody who is a Christian, who knows God very well, and who has his belief, will not go to that such extent, because I've said it, whatever God created, he has created them perfectly. But what is there is that there is, for example, there is a testimony of a man. He was working in the chemical industry. Okay. But unfortunately, the chemical pour on that man. The man is a Christian. By his grace, he poured on it to the extent he poured on his eye, he couldn't see again. He was blind. And when the doctor, they examined the man, they said, okay, there's no hope again. But he believed in God. He went to redemption camp. He believed that God will do it. And to God be the glory, the man was able to see again. Because he holds faith, he did not go for plastic jaw surgery, and the man is still living now. He's one of the pastors in the mission. So what is there is depend on people's belief. But people that are going there, like the Ayodeji said, is because they are not comfortable with the way God has created them. Like what you have said now, people are doing all this thing in order to advertise themselves. To the same extent, look at somebody now, they may say my tummy is too big, I want to do a surgery, or I want my baby to my face to look like a baby face. So it's their choice. But if you are a practice Christian or a missionary, you believe, you will hold on to your faith and you will make sure you stand. So for people, we cannot say people should not going there, but what is there is depend on your belief. And apart from that belief is by you say when they begin to know the truth shall set you free. So I will just conclude that when when you know the truth will actually set you free, because it's only those people that are still doing it their knowledge is shallow. They don't know God. They don't know God. That's why you see them still practicing it. Because, for example, now I have my beautiful wife at home. God has perfectly created her. She's light in complexion, which is okay by me. But for me now, say I want you to be like a white, like people in abroad. Want your nose like Ayodeji have said, want your nose to be pointed like this. It's all called for. But those people, it's a profession. Like somebody is a surgeon now. It's a profession. We can't say they should not do it. But what is there? For example, now, I could remember some people that normally do abortion. Let me just digress a little. There are some doctors, they say, if you bring people for me for abortion, I will not do it. So that's why it says a matter of choice and belief. There are some doctors, they may say, okay, this is not biblical. And it's not according to Quran. I may not do it. The little one that is biblical, like Ayodeji has just said, that somebody who is if there is a need for him or her, assuming the leg is cut off, he needs a surgery. That they might do a plastic for him so that the leg can be balanced. That one is different. And if we have somebody that a Christian or Muslim doing that, for that one, it's not a sin, because there is a need for that thing to be done. But once you are doing things just to please people in the world, and just to make sure you advertise yourself, God hates it, and it's a sin. Thank you, ma'am.
Oh, Sheikh, I would like you to answer this question for me. What happens to people in your religion, that's those that actually practice this? What happens to them if they are discovered? Is there any particular punishment or penance given to them?
You see, Nigeria is a free zone where you can do anything. If there isn't any section of our own law in Nigeria that goes against it, you will be let go without any punishment. But you see, when we are talking about punishments on certain things, we are talking eternally. We are talking about what is going to become of us after this world. Okay, if somebody goes for adultery or fornication, who is that person that will met that, who is going to administer that punishment on him? Nobody will do that. But something is kept for him. When he gets there on the day of judgment, God will ask him. So we may not say there is a particular punishment, because you go and do certain things, people may not know. Okay, some people naturally may not go for boom enlargement or any of this enlargement. They may not go for it. You just see that as time rolled by, you just see that things are changing for them. Probably they've stopped menstruating, and you see their boom coming out, you see their buttock coming out, you see the stomach protruding. You understand? Without having done anything. That is our personal observation. By the time a woman stops menstruating, definitely the blood she's losing on a regular basis will stop, and that will add more to her weight. So you cannot just say, okay, maybe you have gone for a particular enlargement, come for this punishment. You know, that's not possible. So if she does it and she tells you she didn't do it, what do you do about it? We're in a free world. So we only tell our people, we only tell the congregation that this kind of thing is not good. Please don't do it. I don't want to mention names, because the platform on which we are may not allow for that. But I want to tell you, all these things had adverse effects at the end of their life. They will not tell you the unsuccessful operation that has been done. They will only tell you of the successful ones. For instance, somebody that wants to go for a cross-gender something, wants to cross the gender. You are a male, you want to appear like a female. You understand? So all these cosmetic applications, you want to grow your nail, and these are minor, but they have some oral intake and some operation in their system that will boost certain hormones. You understand? That will let this thing, the hormones that produces this mammary gland, will grow right inside them, and they will have breasts like women. I don't know whether you are aware of that. They will have breasts like women, and you see their buttock protruding, the stomach too. You see, even some parts of their legs like this something will get changed. You can see, Adit being one is in a country where that kind of thing, is being attended to. Definitely, there will be a punishment for it, but we don't have it here. In the Quran, God says, it is the devil. When God was talking to us about the devil, he said the devil will tell you, the devil will, arouse certain, thoughts in people to go and change the creation of God. Okay. You see that? To go and change, it even said it categorically. It says, the devil will push people into changing the natural nature of people. God is telling us that this is what the devil does. So please don't go after him. That means if you do that, you are coming back to me. I will now ask you, I've made you a man. Why are you trying to become a woman? And at the end of the day, you are appearing. You are appearing like a woman with the help of certain technological application and some oral intake that you have taken, and that is protruding certain things. That is abnormal. It is abnormality. I heard of somebody, I won't mention the name. They said when his father was doing birthday, he was there and dressed like a man, because the father, according to what we had, will not take that nonsense. Dressed like a man, dressed naturally. So when he left that scene, He changed back to, he went back to his artificial form. Why all of this? Why, my sister? I don't think it is necessary. God does not ask us to do all of that. He knows why he has created some people to be female and why some are to be created like males. You know why he has done that? So we are human beings, and so honestly, we don't possess that power to ask him, to query him. We are not, he's not subject to us. Rather, we are subject to him. So whatever he does, we just have to take it like that.
Thank you for that answer, Shaykh. Well, we'll be going for another short break, and when we get back, we'll continue with the discourse. Please stay tuned.
Mutual love and respect brings peace.
Welcome back, and it is still The Belief on KAFTAN Television. We've been discussing about cosmetic surgery, and I have a Shaykh in the house with me and also a pastor. So pastor, just as Shaykh has said, he has said so many things ranging from the artificial aspect to the natural aspect of all this cosmetic. Listen, but although I have a question for you, I would like to know from your own perspective if you think by any chance technology and, you know, civilization has hampered on some of this let me say our culture as Africans, and even the religion aspect of it as well.
Yes, they have tampered with it. In the first instance, like what we have been discussing, it's only we are still I can say the law of the country here has not been permitting a little, because in outside there we have been seeing, like Ayodeji have said, where you will see a woman appear like a man. Like a man will be like a woman, and whereby you see a man marrying a man, whereby a woman marrying a woman. All these things they believe is technology, like this, like the surgery we are talking about. This thing is a result of technology, because for example now when you look at somebody who is very old and the face is being torn surgically, it become like a baby. It's technology, but it have affected our culture, because I could remember in our culture, in our society here, the way we operate is so natural. But because of the technology now, you can see things have changed. For example, in our environment here, like the Bible has said, like a man, you don't have to put something belongs to a woman. And a woman as well, you don't have to put something belong to the men as well. But other is the case, reverse is the case. Things have changed. So this is the result of a technology. For example, now when you see a copper want to go and serve now, you have to wear trousers. That's also what they recommended for them.
That is it.
Exactly. So it's a result of technology. So many things have changed. So as a result of that, they have changed so many things. But what actually happened is that the Bible, nothing can change the scripture. Technology cannot change the scripture. It should decide to remove part of it there. It's not removing my own. Is that clear? So the belief, the Bible is scriptural and is there forever. And whatever, if you are trying to say we want to change this, want to change that, like Ayodeji have said, that's what is also in the Bible. The judgment is there to waiting out, to our waiting. Though this is a free society, whereby, for example, now what is practiced in overseas country have not been legalized in Nigeria.
Yeah.
As soon as it's been legalized, I know they'll be doing such. Because even in the school, in society, they have been practicing that. They have been practicing it, whereby you see whereby you see a female and a female, they are moving together. They marry themselves. The same thing, men. They do the same, but it's only it's not legalized in Nigeria. So this thing, as a result of technology, because what they watch on the phone, pornography, what they watch on the television. So this thing have changed the orientation of our children. Like my home now, like yesterday, I called my boy. I just sat him down. I begin to preach. I asked some questions because he's about to write his senior SSC exam.
Okay.
Because I try to prepare that if God give me an opportunity to send him abroad, if he's not properly groomed, when he get there because of technology, it will be changed. You see, when you see somebody now, as a result of what we are talking about, cosmetic, you see a man now waving their hair. They will just be like a woman plaiting their hair. Men do that.
Yes.
Exactly. They put earrings because they believe it's technology that they want to move with what is happening, the trend of the world. So those are the things technology have done. They have changed so many things, but my prayer is that God will help us. And the moment we have to make sure we train our people from the background, go back to the normal culture, because like in our Yoruba culture, because I know in this Yoruba culture, we cherish culture, and we make sure, for example now, here and I could remember when I was still when I'm in the school age, if a lady come to our house with trousers, the next thing is that the orientation of a woman, is this a prostitute? But when you dress like when you put your skirts, put whatever, now our old men they will admonish you.
Yes, it do.
But today, because of the advance and the technology, when you see a lady wearing trousers, if it is still normal, you don't see anything wrong in it. Exactly. So
thank you, Pastor. Shaykh, I would like you to also drop your contribution about the civilization aspect of this whole situation and what you think about it as well.
Well, people term it to be civilization. If one goes to the dictionary to look up the meaning of civilization, civilization is to advance from a primitive lifestyle to an advanced one, to a much more tenable and acceptable one. I don't know whether you get what I'm saying. When we say civilization, we had our ways of doing things like farming here in Nigeria. In those days, somebody came to Elizabeth University some time ago. He said, hey, people are still using cutlasses and hoes to work here in the 21st century. Why? He said that doesn't happen again where he is living. I think he's living in America, and he has gone to a number of countries of the world that are advanced. He has gone to see the way things have been done. So that is a kind of a civilization that I am talking about. That ability to grow from a primitive one. I think there is a state in Nigeria, 2 states. I don't want to mention names. 2 states, and I don't want to mention the geopolitical zone that something is occurring. There are people in Nigeria that are still appearing nakedly. You see them using leaves to cover their private parts. Honestly, one may not believe it. If I don't see it, I did not see it on the social media with the picture, I may not believe it. That is what we are saying. But when you go to the town, when you go to our towns, hardly will you find that. That is a form of advancement. In what? In civilization. But when people have gone to the peak of civilization, you now see them going back to and in fact, I don't want to use bad words because a lot of people do it. You have advanced, you have gotten your ways of doing things in a very good and acceptable way. You are now going back to that of an animal. Why? So that is why I would say, with what is operating, honestly, this kind of program that's this station is relaying, it's a thing that the government must do something about. Because we are now behaving, are we developing, or we are retrogressing from what it should be to a different thing entirely? And like he said, like my pastor said, the community is seeing nothing, they see nothing bad in it. Some women will even tell you, when you try to tell as a teacher, you try to tell some of the students that you are teaching that, look, this thing is abnormal. Wallahi, I tell you, their parents will come to you in the school and say there's nothing wrong in what their children is doing. Then what do? You are a teacher anyway, but the parents tells you, the father or the mother follows that girl to the school and tells you there's nothing bad there.
What do you say about some people that will tell you that God is after your heart and not your appearance? Your
heart is the engine of your body. It is whatever you have in your heart that will be exemplified by your body. You give a sample of what you have in mind. If you are satanically inclined, you will be thinking evil every now and then. And if you have that God's consciousness in you, you see peace coming out of you every now and then. Wallahi, that is it. So for people to say that does not mean anything, whether she puts on trouser or she appears naked, that does not mean anything. What about those who cover up their whatever and at the same time they do this and that? Well, you are in the same class. Somebody that covers everything from head to toe and you still see him antisocial behaviors, that means that person has not really taken what he has told you that he has taken. He's been hypocritical. But if truly you know the God that you're serving and you know what he wants you to do and you go by it, definitely whatever you do, whatever you say, or whatever people see you doing will definitely tally with what you have in mind. So you see, this question that we are discussing, honestly, it has gone a long way in demoralizing our people, demoralizing them. Honestly, like I said in the initial stage, I said at the end of the day, when we apply all this cosmetic something, the plastic surgery or whatever, at a point in their life, that originality, that divine, structure, we call for that divinity in you, and you have altered it, then you start having problem. Let me give you a very close example. You see some people go out there in our communities. You see people that are bleaching their complexion. Okay. They will appear artificially beautiful the first time they start applying it. People that are into all these acrimonies will think they are beautiful. They are changing from probably bad to better. They might think so. But at a point in time, you see their complexion appearing, I don't know whether green. Also, you see vein appearing blue. You see the skin shrinking. You see them smelling. If anybody has a problem in the hospital and they want to stitch him or her, you see there's something, they won't be able to hold it. My wife is a nurse. So if she has that kind of case, she will tell me, he's unable to do this, you will just give her a referral letter where they will not be able to do it. You see it? So these are some of the things, these are some of the problems that something is bringing to us. Why? Okay, I don't know whether this sitting or this our platform is aware that this bleaching something is part of surgery. If you look at it very well. This thing you are applying can cause skin cancer. What is that bringing to us? Cancer, my sister. What is cancer? Cancer kills you gradually, and you apply what will kill you by yourself, because you want to appear better, you want to appear groovy, you want to appear younger, you want people to see that you have light in complexion and you are created black. Is black not beautiful? Europeans sometimes they go for tanning. Sometimes, you heard of that, man? They go for tanning. Tanning is a way of rendering yourself black. They want to stay in the sun, to a kind of to change the color of their skin. I don't know, people are aware of that. Sometimes when a black man, when a white man sees you, probably in a community where there's a man who in the prison he used machetes on a black man. So when they now took him to court, right in the prison there, they said, why did you do this? He said, oh, I don't know. I just want to know whether the blood that is flowing in him is red, like our own. You understand? So somebody saw a black man for the first time. He moved near him, hugged him, and touched his hair. You see it? That is appreciation. He was thinking, he thought hair should be normally called, sort of. But now seeing that of a black man the way it is, and it's perpetual like that, you now went to feel it. You can see, I'm trying to say that we are not appreciative of what God has done for us. And that is uncultural. Okay. Yes, it's uncultural. It is uncalled for. A black man, they say black is beautiful. You understand? So whatever is alien to our culture, in this respect, you have to shun it. Because at the end of the day, there's something gives you what you don't want.
Well, we're out of time right now, and they're already calling for our final words. But I'd like you to actually give your final words before Pastor does.
Yes. What I want to say is that the Quran says, "Wama umiru illa liya'budullaha mukhlisina lahu dina." God says He has given you no appointment on the earth surface. There's no work He has asked you to do. He didn't give you any farm to go and work on, but to be sincere in whatever you do. Are you being sincere? You are going for boom enlargement? Are you sincere? You want to change your nose? Is that sincerity? So we should be sincere in whatever we do. With that in mind, that will be guiding us towards the right path. And we pray that the Almighty Allah continues to guide us to the right path. Thank you very much.
Pastor.
Thank you, Ma. What I just want to tell our people is that what God have created, He have created them perfectly. We are the image of God. We're exactly like Him. And it took Him time to create us. So what He have created is so perfect and beautiful, and we must make sure we reflect it in the community, in everywhere we go. And the Lord will bless us in the mighty name of Jesus.
Amen. Thank you, Shaykh. Thank you, Pastor, for joining me on the program. It has been a very wonderful discourse so far. Viewers, I hope you have been enjoying the discourse as much as I have. And just like we've said, Shaykh earlier said in his last words that we should try to be sincere in order for us to be guided through the right path. And also, Pastor has said that you should try as much as possible to, keep that natural creation of God and, show it out. Let it shine, as they say. And my own final words would be that, through God's words, wisdom and guidance, individuals have the ability to make decisions that would please and honor Him. So please, as much as possible, try to be sincere with yourself and keep your nature as it is beautiful as God has made it. Thank you for joining us once again on the Believe on KAFTAN Television. I'm signing out right now. I'm Angela Daku. See you next time.
What you believe in may be different from mine, and what I believe in may be different. I don't mind. Believe what you think, and I believe in mine. And in the end, we are living life. What you believe in, I don't mind. Our views and their views may not be the same. Mutual love and respect brings peace.